like procrastinated something for so long that you convince yourself that it's completely worthless. There's no point of going on. Like, no one's really interested anymore. You don't even like doing it anymore. What's the point of even doing it again? Yeah, I've been useless. But I don't know, I felt this urge that I needed to jump on camera, especially since this week is the last week. And I know that I have been absent for over 3 months. But I want to try and take this time today to just summarize for you, for myself too, for something to look back on, all the things that have really made themselves apparent over this very, very long time in lockdown. And so yeah, let's get into it. Kia ora te whānau, no mai hoki mai anō. Ko te raunatia riri a rewa te tōku ingoa, ko tia tōku ingoa poto. Kaya koe, you can call me whatever you'd like. Yes. I'm back for the very last time doing one of these videos just as a little check-in. And do you know what the saddest thing is? I feel like there's actually not heaps that I can catch you up on, because, as I'm sure everyone is well aware, Tāmaki Makaurau has been in a very, very long lockdown for the last 3 months now. And I'm just going to be honest. I'm just going to get it all out there, say whatever it is that's on my mind. This is going to have no real structure to it today, and no real takeaways either. Because yeah, like I said before, I really just want to summarize for you all the feelings that have kind of made themselves apparent over these last 3 months. And so I think the biggest thing that I've come to realize is that I am terrible at self-directed learning. I really feel, truly feel, and I know that, you know, some people might disagree and be like, oh no, you've been doing great, blah 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 blah. Love that, thank you so much. This is in no way me fishing. But I really do feel that this lockdown has really, like, my reo has taken a big hit in this lockdown. And for me, I think that is truly reflective of not only the importance of being fully immersed when you are learning te reo Māori, but I guess just the overall hardness that is being in lockdown. And it's truly difficult to find the motivation to do the things that you want to do. For me, it was really hard to like jump on camera and be like, oh yeah, lockdown this, lockdown that. It just felt like a constant reminder every single day that this was something that was completely out of my control. And I have been suffering through it, you know. That's not really something that you want to actively talk about every time you're on camera, because it's just like a really harsh reminder. Yeah, it's been a weird time. In no way has it been like completely negative. I've actually felt like there have been a lot of benefits, but purely focusing on just my reo journey alone, it has been a real struggle. And I feel like I'm not alone in saying that. I feel like everyone that I have kind of caught up with and talked about this stuff with, yeah, it's a common thread. It has been really hard to like continue on that self-directed learning when you're not at kura. So yeah, I really do feel like my reo has taken a big hit in this rāhui, and you know, we've had to do like 3 whakapuaki now in lockdown, and we just did our very last whakapuaki in Rumaki Reo, this week being the last week for everybody's kōrero, and it it felt really bittersweet, you know. It felt really like, damn, like no closure. There was no closure. And I think that's also what added into me not wanting to jump on camera either. Just like, you know, the realization that the longer this lockdown went on, the less and less likely it would be that I would see my friends again from kura, you know, that I'd be able to learn at takiura again, a tinana, you know, in person. Yeah, it just felt like I would, like, seriously, I would be like sitting on my bed on Zoom, listening to, like, you know, whatever it is that's going on in the day. And then I'd like look at my camera and be like, maybe I should talk about this stuff. But then I would get like this overwhelming like sense of like guilt and frustration and just I guess a sort of fear and like almost an imposter syndrome because I haven't been doing that well. I guess, yeah, reflecting, I think it would have been helpful to have more of those check-ins, but yeah, I just couldn't bring myself to do it. I literally couldn't bring myself to like come up here and stand here and talk about how every week it has been hard to like keep at it, keep motivated, and keep engaged over Zoom every single day. Yeah, no. All that aside, you know, all of my own, you know, wanga my anxiety, you know, feelings of worry, all of those aside, throughout these last few weeks, right, we have everybody in my akomanga and all the other akomanga each stood and spoke in te reo Māori for an hour. And that to me is like still, you know, still got to like remind myself of how far we have come in just a year, and having 3 months of that year disrupted by something that is completely out of our control. The fact that every person in my akomanga, aha ko te aha, no matter what, still stood and spoke and gave it their best shot and did well. Like do not get me wrong, I truly believe that everybody in my akomanga smashed it, like absolutely smashed it. Like I was listening to people's kōrero and like would get this like literally kind of reaction, because it's just like, look at how far we've come. This is incredible. And so yeah, it's bittersweet in that we don't get closure because we're still not really able to see one another. But like, you know, I wanted to be able to like truly celebrate my my friends and all of the things that they've accomplished, you know, despite the hardships of lockdown. They still stood, despite, you know, where they came from, where they're going, they still went for it. Like that is, there's just something truly special and amazing about that, and I couldn't be prouder. I truly could not be prouder. But yeah, knowing all of what you know now and how hard it really has been to continue learning te reo Māori in a lockdown setting, it was something that was on my mind earlier in the year. But I finally decided that as of next year, I'm going to be taking the plunge and continuing on in my studies, which means that I will stay at takiura and complete their Bachelor of Teaching degree, which is just like, still my brain is like, is this the right thing to do? Oh my god, 3 years is a long time. You'll be 27 when you get out. But then, I don't know, I like every time I like get to that place and reflect on it, I'm like, no, this this feels right. Like I can't imagine not doing it. This is something that I need, not just for myself, but I need this for my tamariki. I need this for my iramutu, my nieces, my nephews, my whānau, you know. And yes, I feel like if you had have told me this is where I'd be in my journey at the start of the year, you know, being able to like not only stand for an hour in kōrero Māori, you know, semi-confidently, but that I was also going to be continuing on in my studies in te reo Māori, I would have been like, you're crazy. There's no way she's going to do that. But yeah, I've decided that's what I'm going to do. And it just feels right. I can't put it down to anything else other than it just feels right for me. And so I'm really excited about that. But yeah, I'm so proud of everybody and what they've accomplished in their journey. As hard as it has been in this lockdown, and as much as I beat myself up, you know, I am proud of myself and how far I have come. But I know that this is just the first step, you know. 1 year in full immersion te reo Māori might sound like a lot and might sound like it's really hard, which it is, don't get me wrong, it's hard. But it's not lost on me that this is just the beginning of a journey like this. And it's something that I hope everybody who does rūmaki reo, who does any kind of you know, immersion into te ao Māori, into te reo Māori, I hope that is something that everybody realizes, you know. It's not just like a one and done, oh, I've got that in the bag. Mean. Ka kite. Ko. That's not what that is. It's a lifelong journey. And I think that is something that I have to keep reminding myself, you know, like everything, there are huge fluctuations. And it's not a straight path either. COVID has made that really clear. And this lockdown has made that really clear. Any path to learning is not a straight one. So I guess what I'm saying is, if you are ever interested in doing any kind of, you know, full immersion course like this, be prepared to know that this is just the beginning. And so whilst this is like a conclusion video, it also kind of feels like chapter 1 in a much larger story. And I cannot wait to see where that story goes. I feel very privileged in knowing that I will be staying at Takiura, and I will have the ability to, you know, surround myself by the likes of whakaaro and papatawhiri, because they have been teaching te reo Māori for over 50 years. I also found out recently that papatawhiri was actually my mother's kayako when she was a child. So there is something kind of poetic about this journey again, you know, like I said before, for my whānau, for myself, all of that stuff. I guess also, I just want to leave you with a few tips. If Takiura is ever something you want to do, here is my little bag of tips for you. Get yourself well acquainted with sentence structures. Once you have the sentence structures in place, you will feel way more at ease with, you know, being able to like really formulate your kōrero. Not only for whakapuaki, but, you know, when you're just talking to a mate, talking to whoever, get well acquainted with sentence structures. Also, smash your kupuho. Oh my gosh, that is something that I need to actually go back and fix, because I'm going to tell you right now, I have never been someone to study. I am a last minute Larry. I have been for my whole life, that's just, for some reason I like to really make it hard for myself and do everything at the last minute. Learn your kupuhou, because oh my gosh, once you have your kupuhou and you have your sentence structures down, it just makes everything so much easier, instead of like having to go back, having to use like the useless multi-dictionary, which my kāko says isn't even actually that reliable. You don't want to get lazy and relying on tools to get you through, because what is your goal? Your goal is to kōrero, right? So yeah, get fresh on kupuhou. When it comes to whakapuaki, when it comes to speeches, it's better to have just rough ideas, especially as the speeches get longer. It's better to have just your rough ideas pinned down, and like, you know, you getting clear on what it is exactly that you want to say, as opposed to writing out your full whakapuaki and trying to memorize it. I have found myself stuck on that way too often. One of my whakapuaki that I absolutely bombed, which I was really gutted about, because I really thought I wrote a really amazing whakapuaki, like my kōrero was on, but as soon as I stood up, it just all left my brain, and I was just like, I just felt stuck. Don't do that. Just try and, you know, really build up your confidence and knowing that like it is in here. You just have to get it out. Yep, that would be my other tip. And ask questions. The amount of knowledge that I was able to really obtain from my kaiako that we probably didn't really have enough time to go over in class or what have you, asking them questions, just, oh, it really like was a godsend for me. It really like just fixed up my little hapa, you know, my little mistakes that I wasn't otherwise aware of. Yes, yeah, ask questions, and not just to your kaiako even. Wānanga that stuff with your friends, especially if you are in a class, in a akomanga setting. Wānanga, you know, that is something that has always benefited our people. And so workshop that stuff. Workshop that stuff. If you ever feel like you're in doubt, oftentimes I'll be like, oh, my mates already has answers. Me. Unfortunately, I can't really give you any advice for lockdown. That is something I'm still struggling with, and have struggled with this whole time. If anyone has any kind of like really good tips for me with like self-directed learning from home, or like how to you know, stay motivated in a apocalypse, well, let me know. Let me know, because who knows how many more lockdowns we will be in, and I am going to be continuing on my learning journey. Yeah. And finally, my final tip: have fun. Have fun. You know, I think that the greatest treasure for me from this year is like not only being able to like, you know, hold my own in a space if I'm needing to speak te reo Māori, but building a whānau who are completely understanding of this journey. Like I was saying to me and my mate were having a kōrero yesterday about like how hard it is that, like, you know, people on the outside, people who are super close to you in your life outside of Takiuta, don't really have and never really will have a full and visceral understanding of everything that you have been through. All of the like inherent deep hohonu changes that have been made within you thanks to this journey. No one in your like outside life will ever fully be able to grasp all of the growth that you have been through. And that's something that can be quite alienating sometimes, you know, because you expect your nearest and dearest to always kind of like at least have some kind of insight as to what's going on. But yeah, unfortunately this journey is so bespoke that it doesn't, it is hard for it's hard for others to fully comprehend. And so that is where your whānau arumaki, you know, from Takiura, they have been here through this entire roller coaster. And so, yeah, holding them tight is something that I will, yeah, that has been my biggest treasure from this year. And I have made some lifelong connections with people that I just, to this day, I'm like, what were the chances of these people being at Takiura at this time, me being in this specific class, because there are 3 other classes, so 4 classes altogether. What are the chances of me being in this class with these people? You know, these, I could not, no hate to any of the other akomanga, but I literally could not imagine me being in any other akomanga other than this one. Long video, I apologize, but I really just wanted to jump on here and just, you know, just there, let it all out. And yeah, that's all there is, I guess. But if this is a journey that you are ever considering in the future, please, I am always open. I feel like it's always best to go in with a little bit of insight. And I was lucky enough to have friends who had gone through Rūmaki Reo before me. They were actually the ones that inspired me to do this. So if you are ever considering doing this in the future, no mai, huki mai anō, yeah, pai ana ki te kōrero-TIA. E ki ana tōku ngākau i tēnei wā, nā tō manaakitanga, nā tō aroha ki au i roto i te tēnei. Ai, kore kau ngā kupu, kore kau ngā kupu. Ki tōku whānau, ki tōku akomanga, ngāsi piripi, ngai te rongopai, tēnei te mihi nui ki a koutou. Tōku whānau puāhuru mai te whitawhita o te reo. Tēnei te mihi ki a koutou. Ai. Oh. He tino pauria hau. He āhua pauria hau i tēnei wā. Nā te mea kaore au i te mōhio te wā ki te whakakotahi anō. Ai. Engari, aha ko te aha e mawana au ki ngā mahara mai i tēnei tau. Mō ake tonu. Ai. Koinei te tapu wai tuatahi. On that note, whānau, koinei te mutunga o tōku ataata. Ai, tēnei te mihi ki a koutou ki te mātakitaki i aku KŌRERO-TIA i etahi wā. Kei te tino hikaka au ki te hoki atu anō ki te wānanga Takiura a tērā tau. Ai, tino hikaka ahau. Engari, kaore au i te mōhio o mena ka hanga au i tēnei, i ēnei KŌRERO-TIA a tērā tau. Nō reira, ai, koinei te KŌRERO-TIA mutunga a kene pia. Kaore au i te mōhio, aroha atu. Ai, so on that note, I don't know if this will be the end. I don't know what this will mean moving forward. I do have an idea that I might do, you know, something a little bit rireke, something a little bit different when it comes to maybe filming some content next year. Kaore au i te tino mōhio. But thank you so much for following this journey, whenever it was that I decided to upload. And yeah, I guess stay tuned for whatever's going to be coming next. I know that I want to be staying tuned because I have no idea. I have no idea. But I am extremely excited to see where this is going to go. I hope wherever you are out there, you are safe, happy and well. I hope your whānau, your friends are safe, happy and well as well, especially during these times. It's been a hard one, e te whānau, a hard way to finish the year. E hara tēnei i te mutunga o oku wawata, engari, me haere tonu. Thank you so much. Ngā mihi nui anō. Ka kite koutou a tōna wā. Aroha nui ki a koutou katoa. Ata whakarongo ki a tāwhiri. Ata aro ki ngā ngaru tuatea. Tau awhi e nei rere ke he tāna. Me whakatina naia, me whakahihi. Me whakatina naia, me whakahihi. Me whakatina naia, me whakahihi. Teruki! Kei taua me hoki whakamuri kia anga whakamua mo te amauri me te whenua he uri whakaheke ke ahau kia tai o te taira whiti me ngā hau keri o ngā tirau kaua Pukana!